Hi, and welcome to Coach Jude at Rangitoto. In a previous episode, I talked about the benefits of letting go of something you enjoy, particularly if it's preventing you from achieving your goals or having a negative impact on your health or happiness. What I didn't discuss was how you go about this. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't an exact science and I don't pretend to have all the answers, but from my own experience, I do know it's possible to do. And sometimes all we need to achieve our goals is for us to realise that it can be done. That opens the door to us starting to believe that maybe we can do it too. I hope this opens the door for you. Sit back and let me show you how my experience with alcohol could help you start to work on your unhelpful habits, whether that's food, drink, or something else. Today I'm going to share my very personal relationship with alcohol. I realise this isn't directly weight related, but you can use the lessons I've learned to help you tackle other habits, to help your weight loss journey. And don't forget, if you would like some help, check out my free comprehensive guide to kickstarting your weight loss, which I've linked in the description below. Anyway, back to my story. Now, alcohol is something I truly loved, but overconsumed for more than 40 years. Now I'm thriving in sobriety. It's almost 5 years since I had a drink, and I have absolutely no desire to imbibe alcohol whatsoever. What do I mean by that? Well, the best way I can describe this is to describe my relationship with cigarettes. I've never smoked and never desired to smoke. When I see cigarettes or other people smoking, it has no impact on me or my thoughts whatsoever. I don't have to exert any effort at all. I don't have to restrain myself from lighting up or catch myself thinking, I really want a cigarette. If I'm honest, I barely notice it. Amazingly and also incredibly, this is now my reality when it comes to alcohol. Now, I don't want to give the impression that I think that quitting alcohol is in any shape or form an easy thing to do, or to minimise the efforts of anybody out there who is currently struggling with their own relationship with alcohol. All our experiences, life situations, capabilities and resources are different. So each person's journey will be different, but I hope by sharing my story, it may have a positive impact on yours. So what brought about this transformation? A major breakthrough came when I actually decided I really wanted to stop drinking. And if I'm honest, this took a very long time. When I first acknowledged that my relationship with alcohol was less than healthy, the last thing I wanted to do was give it up. I was in a place a lot of people find themselves. They know they should give up alcohol. They know keeping drinking is damaging their health and happiness, but they really don't want to do it. And so I did what a lot of people do. I tried moderation interspersed with several periods of complete abstinence. I found abstinence almost unbearable, and the moderation wasn't much better. With the latter, my life was filled with rules about how much and when I was allowed to drink. Frankly, it was exhausting and took up so much energy. After several bouts of therapy, I did find a place of relative calm where I didn't drink on a school night. Then I retired and there weren't any school nights anymore, and I really started struggling again. That was 8 years ago. But then a couple of things happened over the next few years. Firstly, there was a lot of information on the news about the maximum recommended alcohol intake, as the UK had changed its limits to 14 units a week. Also, there was the fact that people who drank more than 35 units or more a week were in the top 5% of drinkers. Now, this really didn't tally with my perception. I knew I drank too much, but I thought that this was fairly normal. To discover that my drinking was in fact very abnormal really shook me up. This wasn't something I wanted. It made me feel really uncomfortable, and I think it was part of my trigger to change. Now, this is important. Realising I wasn't normal or like most other people gave me a completely different perspective on my habit. This change of perspective is often a key if you want to start changing or getting rid of an unhelpful habit in your life. It's also worth noting that discovering that I was about the same weight as most of the contestants on The Biggest Loser was a similar wake-up call. It basically reframed my perception of reality, making me really face the fact that my weight problem was extreme. Anyway, back to the drinking. Another thing that happened was that David Cassidy died as a result of alcohol abuse, including alcohol-induced dementia. Now, back in the dark ages when I was a teenager, I was a real David Cassidy fan, and I got to go to a couple of his concerts. The fact that alcohol curtailed his life and caused him to lose his mind was another violent wake-up call, particularly the alcohol-induced dementia. I think one of my biggest fears as I grow older is that I will lose my mind, essentially lose myself. This terrifies me, and discovering that alcohol could cause this or make it more likely really had a huge impact on me. Now, this effect on me wasn't immediate or dramatic, but it was still huge. For the first time in my life, I realised I didn't want to drink anymore. In fact, I wanted to be normal and reduce my risk of dementia more. I finally saw that alcohol was taking me to a place I really didn't want to be. Now, this was only the start of my journey to quit, but without this key insight, I doubt I would be here today. So, how can this help you? Well, if you have a habit that's harming your health or happiness, but you really don't want to give it up, you know you should, but the idea fills you with dread, then firstly you've got to take off those rose-tinted glasses and be receptive to finding out just exactly how serious your habit is and the true extent of the harm you're doing to yourself. Now, this isn't easy because we all suffer from confirmation bias. Basically, we accept any information that tells us our habit is good for us or we're not abnormal, and don't notice or hear anything that could contradict that view. I heard all the reports that red wine was good for your health and that teetotalers have a shorter lifespan than drinkers, but magically never realised that alcohol not only causes liver disease, but many cancers as well as dementia. The other strategy you can use is to get real clarity about what you want in your life. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What do you want? What is important to you? And what makes you happy? Now, typically folk tend to be a bit flummoxed when I ask them this. I think because we're often so busy, we never stop and think, is this what I want? Or maybe we think we don't really have any choices. But this is a really useful thing to do, because once you've got clarity over what you really want, then you can see whether what you're doing is moving you towards that place or moving you away. You may find you can capture what you want in a short sentence, or a picture, a photograph, or a list of bullet points. The place I want to be is to be thriving in my 90s, and I find this photo of the little guy captures this concept beautifully. I want to wake up feeling like this every single day of my life, and it doesn't take a rocket science to realise that necking a bottle of wine wasn't the way to achieve it. So basically this became my choice and my responsibility. Did I want to carry on drinking, waking up feeling sluggish, headachy, basically firing on half a cylinder? Or did I want to see if there was a better alternative? And the key word here is better. By stopping drinking, I started to realise that my life might actually be better, not worse, and that was a place I really wanted to be. Now, I realise that in this episode I've only really tackled the tip of the iceberg in terms of letting go of a harmful habit. The topic is multifaceted, nuanced and slippery. Just when you think you've got a handle on the situation, something changes and a new challenge looms. The first step, though, is that you have to want to let go of your habit. And you have to believe that in letting go of the habit, you will find a better, happier, healthier place to be. One thing is for sure, I'll definitely be exploring this topic in the future, tackling all the various different aspects of successfully letting go, from dealing with addictive desire to how you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, recognizing that this habit isn't you, and even the simple truth that all things come to pass. But if you're struggling to believe that you can find that better place, sometimes you just need to do something differently. This can really give you a whole new perspective, and you'll find lots of new ideas in my free comprehensive guide to kickstarting your weight loss. Check out the link in the description. And on that thought, as always, I'll leave you. I thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like this episode if you found it useful, subscribe if you want to learn more, and do share your progress, your triumphs, and your insights with me. All the best. Until next time. Bye.